Welcome back to the Motivated Mind Zone.
And welcome to a deep dive that's all about fluency. We are going to jump right into a challenge that I think every single language learner feels.
Oh, absolutely. That moment, right. You're in a real conversation, someone asks you about the New Year holiday, and poof, the words are just gone.
Exactly. That's the mental block. It's not that you don't know the vocabulary. It's about retrieving it fast enough when you're on the spot.
Well, you, our listener, sent us the perfect tool for this. It's this really slow, natural dialogue between two native speakers, Sarah and Mark, just talking about their New Year. It's basically a roadmap for confidence.
That's a great way to put it, a roadmap. So our mission today is to break that conversation down into, say, 3 easy-to-use models. We're going to give you a pre-built structure so you can speak without all that hesitation.
We're going to pull out the most useful phrases, the best words they use. So if you want to talk about anything from a quiet night in to your biggest goals for the year, stick with us. This is the shortcut.
Okay, so let's get into this structural hack. Talking about the new year. It naturally falls into a kind of timeline. The conversation, it flows through 3 phases.
These phases.
Yeah, and the key thing is each phase uses a different set of verb tenses. If you know that, you're halfway there.
Okay, so what are they? It's like past, present, future,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much, yeah.
Mm.
First, you have the past. That's talking about your New Year's Eve party or celebration. So you're using simple past tense. I went, she cooked, we shouted.
Got it.
Then you got the present tradition. This is for things you do on New Year's Day or rituals you do every year. Simple present tense, we always watch. My family makes.
Okay. And the last one is the big one.
Right, the future. This is all about your resolutions, your plans, your dreams, and for that, you're using future language like, I'm going to, I want to.
And Sarah and Mark, they just shifted between these 3 so smoothly. Let's start at the beginning with the past. How did they talk about the party?
Well, the key question is always something like, how did you celebrate? See? Past tense. Did you celebrate?
And their answers are great templates. Sarah's was very quiet. She just stayed at home with her family and cooked a nice dinner. Super relaxed.
And then you have Mark, who did the opposite. He went to a small party, and he used a fantastic vocabulary word here.
Oh, I know which one.
He described the party as cozy.
Yes, cozy. It's such a perfect word. It just means comfortable, warm, friendly. It's not a huge, wild party, but it's nice.
Exactly. And it's a word you can use for so many things. A cozy sweater, a cozy cafe. Then they used really simple verbs to describe the action. They played card games. They ate a lot of snacks.
It's functional language. You don't need fancy words. You just need the right tense.
And even when they talked about the big moment midnight, it's still in the past. They mentioned watching the countdown on TV.
Right. And then they shouted Happy New Year and they hugged. Simple actions, simple past tense.
We also get some really specific vocabulary with the drinks. Sarah had sparkling juice because she was driving.
Which is a great detail to include.
It is. And Mark had a glass of champagne. These little details make your story so much more real.
Okay, so this is your first practice moment. Think about your own New Year's Eve. Were you a Sarah or were you a Mark? Did you stay home or did you go out?
Just try forming that sentence in your head.
Yeah.
I went to Tara, or I stayed at home, and see how it feels.
All right, that's the past covered. But you mentioned a middle section, the tradition block. What happens on actual New Year's Day?
Yeah, this is where we shift into the simple present tense because we're talking about rituals or things that happen generally. It gives the cultural context.
So you're talking about things you usually do.
Exactly. You might say something like, we usually sleep in on New Year's Day, or my family always hosts a big lunch. The words usually and always are your signal that you're talking about a tradition.
So that handles the past and the present. But let's be honest, what people really want to talk about is the future, the plans, the resolutions.
This is where the conversation really opens up.
Yeah.
And it all shifts to that future language. The main question is, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
And there are two key phrases in this part of their chat. First, the term New Year's resolution itself. It's that promise you make to yourself, right?
It is. It's a formal promise to improve something.
Yeah,
And the other phrase they used a lot was looking forward to.
right. Which just means you're excited about something that's coming up.
So let's look at their actual goals because the details are really useful. Mark's resolution was super specific. He wants to read one book every month.
12 books in a year. I love how specific that is. It's not just read more. Using numbers like that makes you sound so much more fluent.
It really does. Sarah did the same thing. She wanted to learn to cook 5 new meals.
Yeah.
Again, a clear, countable number.
And Mark had other goals too. He wanted to visit a friend, which meant, and this is a great phrase, he needed to start saving money.
And he wanted to learn a new skill for work. I think it was. Uh, Simple video editing.
And Sarah's goals were so relatable. She wanted to travel more, but maybe just, visit a new city nearby and start a hobby.
Gardening.
Yeah, gardening. She wanted to grow tomatoes on her balcony. I just think that's such a lovely, achievable plan.
But then they brought in this other concept, which is so smart for conversations, the difference between a plan and a dream plan.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Well, a plan is something you can do soon, like the 5 meals.
Hmm.
A dream plan, it's bigger. It takes more time, more effort. It's a long-term aspiration.
I see. So Mark's dream plan was that big trip, right? To another continent in the next couple of years.
Exactly. And Sarah's dream plan was actually about her English. She wanted to speak English more confidently, especially with native speakers.
That's a great reminder that your biggest goals can be about your personal skills.
And having that distinction plan versus dream plan, it just gives your conversation so much more depth.
All right, time for another fluency check. Your turn. Think of something for your own year. What is one thing you are looking forward to? Try to say the whole sentence out loud. I'm looking forward to.
Just practicing that full phrase trains your brain to grab it instantly. It helps you get around that mental block.
Okay, so there's one more layer to their conversation, and it adds so much context. Reflection. Looking back on the year that just finished.
Yes. Using phrases like looking back or the best thing was, it just makes for a much better story. You're explaining why you have the goals you have.
And they gave us two great ways to talk about success. Mark's best thing from the last year was his 3-day solo vacation by the sea. He said it was peaceful.
So that's celebrating rest, mental health. But Sarah's best thing was totally different. She finished a big project at work and felt proud.
So internal peace versus external achievement, both are great things to talk about.
And they also talked about small, difficult things, which makes it all feel more real.
Mhm.
Mark mentioned getting sick for 2 weeks with a bad cold.
Yeah, and Sarah was sad about having to say goodbye to her old car. They're just simple, relatable problems.
And after reflecting on all that, the good and the bad, they used the perfect idiom to wrap it up.
Time flies.
Time flies. It's the perfect way to say the year went by so fast. If you can use that in a conversation, you're going to sound so natural.
So, what does this all mean for you? It means you now have this conversation broken down. Past events, present traditions, future goals. You have Sarah's and Mark's language ready to go.
And what's interesting is that the individual words, cozy, resolution, they aren't that hard. The tricky part is linking them all together fluently with the right tense. And that's what these 3 blocks help you do.
And we can't forget that motivational message from their chat. Whether your plans are big or small, they matter. I love this part. Even small steps lead to big changes.
That's the core of it all, really. We've covered the past celebrations, future goals, reflections. You have the whole kit.
And so we want to leave you with a final thought, kind of like Sarah and Mark did. We want you to use the models you just learned: resolution, looking forward to, dream plan, and draft one sentence about your year ahead.
Think about that big, exciting dream plan that you have. Now, what is the very first tiny, small step you're going to take towards that dream this year.
Just articulating that one small step in English, that's where the real confidence starts.
That's the practice that makes the difference.
We wish you a happy, healthy, and really successful year ahead, full of small steps that lead to big, big changes. Keep practicing, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.